afternoon, everyone, and on behalf of Repack, welcome to the 6th Annual Pakman Awards to celebrate excellence in waste management and recycling.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this, our first virtual Pakman Plastic Pledge Awards ceremony. This ceremony and these awards are an important part of the Repack calendar and an important part of our strategy as we drive towards our targets of the new circular economy. We are delighted to have the Minister for the Environment, Communication and Climate Action, Deputy Eamon Ryan, here with us today, who will announce the overall winner shortly. I would also like to acknowledge the presence and welcome the Assistant Secretary Philip Nugent and his colleague Principal Officer Paul MacDonald and their teams and members of the EPA for joining us here today and for their ongoing support. For me, I would like to wish all of the finalists the best of luck, and I hope you have an enjoyable evening. Thank you. I would now like to hand you over to the Minister.
Hello, I'm very glad to join you for this, the 2020 Pakman Awards ceremony. It's with real regret that we're not live in person, as usual, in our black tie, all dressed up to the nines. But I think it's really important that we did have the ceremony this year and recognise those companies and those individuals who are working towards a more sustainable packaging and general environment for our country. It's been a critical year for us in this regard with the introduction of the Waste Action Plan for a Circular Economy. Our department has set out 200 actions that we're going to undertake over the next 5 years to put us back on track in terms of reducing single-use plastics, reducing unnecessary plastics waste, and tackle the plastics in the environment problem that's such central to Irish people. So the actions that we're going to implement are going to help that, and they're also going to help to make for a better economy. The likes of the work we're going to do on the Latte Cup levy, trying to get rid of that sort of single-use, disposable use of plastic, where alternatives exist and where the customer can know that actually what they're doing is sustainable in every way. I'm also very encouraged with the response we've just had to our public consultation on the introduction of a deposit and refund scheme for plastic bottles. Huge response from the public, hugely positive response, I'm told. But also we're starting to see now industry initiatives matching that. And I think what was critical in the Waste Action Plan, that it was industry, environmental NGOs, public bodies, Repack and others working together on this future. So we can look forward to that deposit refund scheme being introduced, and also the introduction of major new recycling facilities here where we start tackling that waste problem rather than exporting it to other countries. Thirdly, and critically, the introduction of modulated fees to try and discourage unrecyclable plastics, materials and packaging is obviously a critical development. It's really welcome that this year, I think there was a 15% increase in the fees for plastic packaging, and also we're looking to be ahead of other European countries next year, introducing much higher charges to discourage non-recycled packaging in everything that we do. That's the way to do it. Make it easier for the customer to do the right thing by design, removing those packaging materials that are not easily recycled. That's by design, by good regulation, a far better way of doing it rather than trying to put the burden on the customer or the individual, or rather than or ignoring the problem.
So now I would like to take the opportunity to introduce our 13 Plastic Pledge Award finalists. And they are ABP Food Group, Aldi Stores Ireland Limited, Britvic Ireland Limited, Brown Thomas Arnott's, Danone Ireland Limited, Heineken Ireland Limited, Coca-Cola HBC Ireland and Northern Ireland, Irish Distillers Pernod Ricard, Lidl Ireland GmbH, Mannock Pack Limited, National Plastic Packaging Limited, Suntory Beverage and Food Ireland Limited, and Tesco Ireland. Well done to everybody. I hope you're giving yourselves a virtual round of applause for being the 13 finalists. Now, without further delay, we're going to present the Bronze Plastic Pledge Awards, the first awards of the afternoon.
Thank you, Anna. and well done to the Bronze Award winners, and welcome everybody to Repak's first virtual Pakman Awards. I suppose this year has been like no other, and it's a testament to all that we are here to celebrate and recognise the success and hard work by the finalists in embracing the use of plastic as a packaging material, but also in working to make sure there's reduction, reuse, eco-design, recycling and minimising food waste. This is all about playing your part in the greater Circular Economy Action Plan. Our Pakman Awards normally recognise the important role that businesses, communities, local authorities, education institutes, the waste management industry, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department, the WIRLAs, the PRIs play in making Ireland a better place for us all to live. But given the COVID pandemic, unfortunately, it has not been possible for us to get together this year. Our virtual event this year will act as, I suppose, as a good test bed for us should we need to have a virtual ceremony next year. But given the good news in recent days on vaccines, this will hopefully not come to pass, and we can all meet with our glad rags on to celebrate in 2021. It would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the great work of the frontline workers in this country for keeping us all safe and well, and many putting their own lives on the line for us throughout the past 9 months. We certainly salute you all. There are also many unsung heroes in the provision of waste services in this country throughout the pandemic. In the first lockdown in March, we were one of the few countries in Europe where waste collection, recycling services and capacity needs were addressed, and the show carried on as normal. There was no waste build-up at households or businesses or on our streets, because this was coordinated at national level by the department, the regional waste planning offices, and implemented by local authorities and the waste industry. We thank you all for providing a service that is part of our everyday lives and for which many of us take for granted. The Pakman Award, the Pakman Plastic Pledge Awards showcases the very best of the work being carried out by Repak members. 125 member producers have signed up to the Plastic Pledge, which has 5 key objectives. These being prioritising prevention, supporting the circular economy targets, reducing complexity in plastic packaging, using recycled plastic in its packaging, and helping to reduce food waste as part of the Food Charter. This afternoon, 13 of the 125 finalists of the 125 are finalists here. The judging panel of Paul MacDonald from the Department of the Environment, Communication and Climate and Communication, and Aoife O'Donovan from IBEC, and myself had a lovely but difficult task in selecting winners from some exemplary submissions. A special thanks to Paul and Aoife for the time and commitment to the judging. Repak are sponsoring this year's awards, but we also want to acknowledge the great support of last year's sponsors, AMCS, Arthur Cox, the Department, EnviroGuide, ERP, IBEC, IWMA, EPA, Indiver, Repak ELT, CIWM, and We Ireland, who have been unfailing in their sponsorship of these national awards, and we look forward to working with you all next year in a more convivial surrounding to celebrate the wonderful work being done in Ireland. And now I will hand you back to Anna for an announcement of the Silver Awards and the presentation of the overall Pakman Award 2020. Enjoy.
So finally, if I can, before I come to announce the awards, I also wanted to congratulate Anna Geary on hosting these awards so successfully given the difficult circumstances. The judging panel had a very difficult job to do, but as Seamus said earlier, this is the beginning of a journey in making packaging more sustainable. The judges reduced the finalists to a short list of 3 companies, and these are Aldi Ireland, Coca-Cola HBC Ireland and Northern Ireland, and Quinn Packaging. These entries not only addressed and fulfilled the key criteria for entry, but demonstrated a commitment to sustainability and an excellent holistic approach. This year's winners have shown outstanding environmental impact by embracing all 5 of the plastic pledge criteria that have been placed, I think, for the last 2 to 3 years. Those criteria are prioritising prevention, supporting the circular economy targets, reducing complexity in plastic packaging, using recycled plastics in its packaging, and helping to reduce food waste as part of Ireland's food charter. It's with great pleasure then, and congratulations from me, to announce the winners of the 2020 overall Pakman Pledge winner as Aldi Ireland.
Thank you to Repack for allowing me to be involved today in these brilliant awards. And from me, stay safe and happy Christmas.